Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today for another little yoga practice that is based on asanas and techniques that I use as I've been navigating the roller coaster of life after loss. My name is Marianne, and this is the Village Yoga Sedona YouTube channel. And if you enjoy this video, or any of our videos, I invite you to please join us as a subscriber. It helps us know that we're meeting the needs and lets us continue on to serve you all. Today's practice is going to be about finding our wings again, or maybe healing our wings. I know for me, I was a bit of a type A personality, always looking to accomplish and tackle new challenges, and I got really excited about things like that. And a lot of that lost meaning for me after we lost our daughter. And in particular, I find myself even now, I'm going to use the term kind of just like protecting myself, staying secure, not wanting to do anything that feels like I'm too out there. But that also can mean that I'm not living my life to the fullest. So some of the yoga practices that I like to use for that are kind of akin to letting me stretch my wings again. You know, they've been battered and bruised, and this practice is based on that. So we'll have a little bit of bird or avian theme. For this practice, I suggest that you have 2 blocks, a blanket, a bolster, and a strap or a belt of some sort. If you don't have those things, you can always modify with pillows or books, or like I said, you might have a belt or something that you can use for a strap. And we're going to start today in a comfortable seat. So I'm just going to be sitting here on my heels. You can also sit in cross-legged seat or easy seat. And we're going to start by centering ourselves and just taking stock a little bit. So we're going to take our right hand and place it under our left armpit and our left hand underneath our right armpit. And just you should feel your fingers here on the back of your shoulders, and your thumbs are kind of right here at the front of the crease of your armpits. And you want to let your shoulders fall down. So sometimes it's helpful to bring them up and exaggerate it, and then really let them fall down behind you. And take a couple of breaths here. I really like to practice yoga with my eyes closed in recent years. When I first started practicing and teachers would suggest that, I couldn't do it. But as I've been practicing more, and especially after completing my yoga teacher training, I've really been able to find that place inside and find that closing my eyes during practice helps me get out of my head a bit. So we're going to sit here for about a minute. And you can imagine this as, you're a eagle or a hawk or whatever your favorite powerful, secure bird is, perched on top of a tree. And you've just got your wings tucked in. You're just taking stock of where you are. And you're just feeling the air flow up and down, maybe from the crown of your head, down your spine, to your tailbone. And just breathing along that central channel that centers us. You might feel your heartbeat, especially as your palms are holding onto your ribs. And just notice how your wings are feeling right now. And take one more nice deep inhale. And then exhale. And let your hands come down to your sides. Your fingertips might brush on the surface beneath you. We're going to start with our right arm, bringing the right arm out in front of you with the thumb pointed up. And really in slow motion here. So you're going to feel yourself connected to your seat, to the earth. And as you feel that connection, you lift the right arm up, kind of like if it was a second hand on a clock, just ticking along. And you'll hit a point when you start to bring your arm up straight or just behind you where you'll feel it catch and it can't go back anymore. And at that point, you're doing this very slowly and gently. You'll let your shoulder open up behind you to let that arm continue. And you're letting it come out behind you and letting gravity help it come down towards the earth. And just notice the sensation. If you've been protecting yourself, hunching over, or even in much of our daily activity on our phones, on our computers, reading books, knitting, cooking, all those things have us hunching forward. We're going to keep doing this a couple more times. We end up in being in a protective mode. And so this is a chance to let our wings stretch. Nice to take an inhale at the top here and create a little bit more strength and openness in the right side of the body. And again, when you hit that catch point, you'll rotate your shoulder out so that your arm can continue behind you. And then after a couple of those, we're going to go the opposite direction. So we'll take the right arm still out behind us, and then we'll rotate the arm when we need to. And again, by going super slowly, you're being careful, you're protecting your shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath again at the top to create that space on the right side. And then letting it come back down beside you. One more time. Notice how that feels. It not only changes and opens and lubricates that right shoulder, but it also starts to release some of the tension in the right side and the right ribs and even down into the right hip. I'm going to switch my leg position so my feet wake up. I fell asleep a little bit there. So feel free to find your new seat. Again, connecting. And we're going to come now to the left side. Same motion. Just the second hand of the clock ticking along. Taking a nice deep breath in at the top. Feeling the opening when you need to. Let that left shoulder open up to the back. And then another one forward. And again, this is nice with your eyes closed as well, if you're comfortable with that. Sometimes it's nice to have an eye mask too, if you are in the habit of keeping your eyes open. The eye mask can remind you that it's okay to set that sense aside. Our eyesight uses so much of our brain power. And then we'll go reverse again. We'll take our left hand back behind us, lifting. Nice deep breath at the top, anchoring your left hip down as you open the left side. And then letting that left arm come forward. And then one more time. Okay. Just pause for a second and see how that feels. Take a nice deep breath in and let an audible exhale out. We're going to take our right arm up again now, and this time you'll flip your palm so that it faces behind you, and let that palm come and just tap you gently on the back right here. And then you can take your left hand and let your left hand come to your left elbow. And taking again a nice deep breath in, and again, while you're doing this, you've got multiple activities going on. You're feeling the connection of your sits bones into your mat or to the floor. You are lifting to create space between your ribs and your hips. And you're gently opening up by pressing gently on that right shoulder with your left palm. The next is where it might come in handy to have a strap. So keeping that right hand back, if you can bring your left hand behind you and let your fingers clasp behind your back like this. If that doesn't work for you, then another option is to have the strap in your right hand and to bring your left hand to the other part of the strap, and you'll be pulling down with the left hand again to create some opening here. Again, your sits bones are connected, so you're creating space between your ribs and your hips. Energetic lifting of your forehead and your top of your head to the sky. And then go ahead and release that. And then let's take a little twist. So you'll bring your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you, letting your right hand press down a little bit to help you lift, inhaling to create length, and exhaling to rotate a little bit more into the twist. And then go ahead and release that, and we will come to the opposite side. So, and we'll take our right arm up, left arm up, let the left hand come behind you, anchoring down, lifting, creating space, right hand to the left elbow, and just gently pressing that back. And feeling the space with each breath, with each inhale and exhale. Noticing the sensations that change inside of you in your muscles, in your fascia. And then we can take that right hand behind us. And again, if you can clasp your fingers, that's fine. If you can't, that's also fine. You can use a strap here and gently pulling down with the right hand to create a little bit more opening. So your left elbow's moving up towards the sky, your right hand's coming behind you, and you're taking nice deep breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and release that. And then we're going to come up to a standing. We're going to do eagle pose. Excuse me. So coming up to stand, let's take a moment just here in Tadasana to feel that anchoring. So now you're that bird of choice sitting on the top of a giant rock, just feeling that security of the stable surface beneath you, and breathing and lifting, creating length. And take a nice deep breath in, exhaling your hands to heart center. And then I like to do this with a block, with one block or two blocks. It really depends on the size of your blocks and also your on how long your legs are. But what we're going to do here is start on the right side, have a little bit of a bend in your knees, and bring most of your weight over into your right foot. And go ahead and lift that left foot up. And try to do this intentionally with balance. This helps us, right? It helps us stay balanced in life by practicing balance in yoga. And then cross that right knee over the left. And this is where the block is handy to let your foot just come down and rest on the block. And you're pulling the energy of your thighs in toward each other. And you'll take your arms up, crossing your right arm under your left. And you can either just bring the backs of your hands together, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can bring your palms together. Your shoulders will be lifted. Your elbows will be lifted up to shoulder height. You'll be pulling that energy in. This eagle pose is very good for focus. So when you're preparing to launch yourself into flight, this is a really good way to calm any distractions in your mind, to not worry about what it's going to look like when you land, but to find the courage and the strength and the trust that it requires to get ready to fly again. And then we'll go ahead and release the arms, slowly lifting up, bringing our feet back down. And let's sway that out a little bit, just gently releasing all that tightness from the pose, releasing the concentration, just flying into the flow. And then we'll come into the opposite side. So we'll bring the block to the left foot, come back to Tadasana, finding the stability for a moment, pausing with your eyes closed in Tadasana. Check that balance and stability. And then you'll bend the left knee, lift the right knee, and then cross the right knee over the left, letting the right toes come onto the block. Again, pulling your thighs in toward each other. Lifting, again, we want to always create as much space between our hips and our torso and our shoulders as possible. And then we'll bring our arms out again. This time, left arm under right. Pulling in our focus. Breathing here. If you fall out, I just come back. This takes a lot of energy and attention. But it's a very short amount of time for a great benefit. Then go ahead and release the arms, release the legs, and we'll flow out a little bit here. And we're going to come into one warrior three on each side. So I invite you to have a chair or something in front of you that you can use to help with your balance if you need. You can also use blocks if that is helpful for you. And in warrior three, you're going to start again in Tadasana. And we'll start by lifting our right knee up and then bringing your weight and your attention on to your left foot. And coming into this again very slowly to find the balance. Letting your right leg come out behind you. Your arms can either be forward, kind of like Superwoman, Superman. They can be out behind you in airplane arms. You can use a piece of furniture for balance. And this is where you just imagine yourself soaring. You've taken that leap. And you're staying here as short or as long as feels good to you. We'll take a nice breath in. We'll bring our foot back down and breathe ourselves back up. Exhaling our hands back to heart center. And we're going to take that on the opposite side. So we'll bring our attention to our right leg. Slowly bringing that left foot out behind you. Arms are wherever works for you, with finding your center of gravity and just feeling yourself letting go, flying, soaring. Remembering what it feels like to let your wings carry you forward into the unknown. And then coming back to Tadasana, another deep breath in. Exhaling your hands to heart center. We're going to do another inhale. And let's just do a nice gentle swan dive, bending your knees, letting your torso come down, folding over, letting your wings fold back in, releasing tension in your back, in your glutes, in your outer hips. Bending the knees, inhaling back up. Exhaling your hands to heart center. And we're going to go ahead and end there for today. I hope this helped you find your wings again, little baby flights at a time. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. And again, please remember to subscribe if you would like to continue to see these videos. Thank you.